years of teaching experience, and she had made a significant contribution to the academic through her experience, expertise, research, and publications. Dr. R. Subhashri ma'am has authorized over 88 international journal papers and 3 national papers, and she is also actively involved in the various administrative rules and with her institutions and replicate her dedications to the educations and institution development. Her academic background includes a PhD in commerce from the University of Madras with focus on the customer attitude towards the viral marketing. She has also completed as MPhil in Human Resource Management and also hold her master and bachelor degree in commerce. And Dr. R. Subhashri ma'am is known for her passion for teaching and her commitments to progress of students community. Welcome you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, good evening to one and all present here. Shall I present, ma'am? Ma'am, whether I'm audible?
Your voice is audible, but your screen is not presented.
Yes, ma'am. Now only I'm going to present. Whether you can able to view, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, can you please move for the second slide, ma'am? 1 second, let me check.
Yes, yes. So whether my presentation is you can able to view?
Ma'am, it is in the first slide only, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Anyway, a warm welcome to one and all. Really, the last 2 days we have just learned about the basic, what is the basic things of research, as well as review of literature, how you have to collect the review of literature. So on that basis, now I'm just going to start with the research design. So before I'm going to start with the research design, first of all, I want to discuss with you all what you understand about that research. Can anyone tell me what you have understand about this last 2 days you are attending the classes? Can you tell me what you have understand regarding research? Okay.
Ma'am, research is basically finding anything new or verifying that is existing or adding something to the existing knowledge of or existing knowledge.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
it is a systematic process where
Okay.
research methodology is very important. And there are different types of research, ma'am, like
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
descriptive,
Thank you so much.
qualitative. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for your input, sir. So what sir told is that it's a systematic process. So that what we are going to see. So what is the systematic process we have to follow in order to complete our research successfully, effectively? So that what we are going to find out. So everyone is very clear what you mean by basic. So you are finding a new solution for the problem. So that what just you are identifying the problem and you are finding the solution in a different way. So now, so while conducting the research, sir have told that it's a process. So these are the steps to be followed. So directly we are not able to do the analysis. So we have to follow some steps. So what are the first step? We have to identify what is our problem. So what is the research problem we have to identify? And according to that, we have to frame the objective. And once the objective has been, so before, and another way is also there. So normally we will have one problem. Then for that, we'll find out the solution. We will try to find out the solution for that. Another way is that first, you can go for the review of literature. You can just read more information. That core data, core subject will be there. From that, you have to go for more review of literature. From that, you can able to identify what is the problem. So what we can give, what we can take as a better problem and how we can give the better solution. Like that also we can go for that. So one type is that we are already having one problem. We are just trying to find out one solution for that. That is one way. Another way is that after going through the various literature, you can frame what is the problem, how what we can, so how we can solve it. So there are two ways is there. So normally what methodology will go for that is that, so normally we will identify what is the problem, and for that we will collect various review of literature. So what has been in the review of literature, what we will do, what has been already done. For example, I'm just trying to find out, uh, that is, I'm one of the researcher, just I'm just want to know which type of car is moving on fastly. Whether, I'm just taking an example, whether the petrol consuming car or diesel consuming car, or now it has been introduced as an electronic car. So which is moving on fastly, which is beneficial to the customers. So that is my problem. That what I'm just, why? Because I'm just planning to buy one car. So for that, what I will do, I will make one research that which is best. So just like that, I won't buy the car. So first for that, I'll do various analysis. So that itself, I'm just going to take as my research. So whether petrol car or diesel car or electric car, which will be the best. So for that, I will find out what are the, what already the research has been done. So what is the conclusion given by the others, and how I'm just going to take as a different unique way that I have to identify. Then after finding, after just collecting the review of literature, I've identified what is the gap in that, what I'm going to find out. Then I have to frame the research objectives. So what are my objectives? That and all I have to decide. And then what type of methodology I'm going to choose. So once the methodology has been chosen, how we are going to collect the data, whether I am going for the primary data, whether I have to go for the secondary data. So that I have to decide. Then once the data has been collected, so that will be in the raw state. So that has to be analysis. First, we have to, that data has to be cleansed. Then we have to make an analysis. From that, we have to make an interpretation. From the interpretation, finally, we have to find out the research finding. So these are the normal steps to be followed. So that what sir have told, that it's a systematic process. So like this only, we are just like that. Normally, we are not able to directly, we can start with the data collection. So first we have to identify the problem, and for that just we are gathering the data literatures. On that basis, we are framing the objective, and then we are going for the methodology, what type of methodology we are going to follow, and data collection and analysis. Finally, after collecting the data, you are analyzing an interpretation of data. Finally, you are just concluding the research. So now, so whatever I discussed now, it's only a basic thing. Now, I'm just going come for our topic. What do you mean by research design? Ma'am, whatever you have told, only I just told the steps of the research. But now I'm just going to come for our research design. So research design, it's nothing but it's a master plan. What we are going to do in the research, how we are going to execute the research. So for that, whatever we are planning, so simply research design, it's nothing but it's a master plan. What we are going to execute, how we are going to execute the research. So before planning the research design, so as a researcher, we have to do all the first three things. First, we have to finalize the topic. So before framing a master plan, so what are the things to be finalized? First, what is the topic we are going to make? What is the, in which topic we are going to make a research? That has to be finalized. Once that has been finalized, we have to frame the objectives of the research, and we have to go for just we have to collect the various literature. Once the steps has been completed, then our research design, our master plan, we have to do. So under the research design, so what are the question? We are giving the solution. First, we have to identify what is the objective of the research and who are the respondents, from whom we are going to collect the data. Whether it's a primary data, whether you are going for the secondary respondents. So which type of respondents you are going to collect? I told example that I'm just going to, my research is that regarding which car is best regarding the consumption of power, petrol or diesel or electronic. So just whether I'm just which type of respondents I'm going to choose, whether I'm just going to collect the teenage that is from 18 to 25, or I'm just going for the adult. So like that, I have to decide who are the respondents and how to conduct the research. So from whom I have to collect the data once it has been finalized. So next thing we have to find out, once the data has been collected, how it has to be analyzed, what type of statistical tool I'm going to use. So that and all I have to decide. So review of literature is nothing but, so what, just we are going to give the answer for this about 3 questions. So what is the objective of the research? Who are the respondents? And how to conduct the research? Now, I told that research design is a master plan. Okay. So what are the elements required in the research design? So first of all, our research question. What is our objective? And so once the objective has been framed, so next we have to go for the hypothesis. Okay. So we have to go for the hypothesis, whether you are going for the null hypothesis. So this and all, in the next classes and all, just they are going to explain very clearly and what is the hypothesis, that and all. I'm just not going for the depth. And your overall approach, whether we are going for the quantitative nature or we are going for the qualitative nature. So quantitative nature, customer satisfaction. So that and all, it's come under the qualitative nature. So quantitative nature. How many percentage of the respondents are going for the petrol consuming car? How many percentage of the respondents are just going for the diesel consuming car? So that and all, it's come under the quantitative. Qualitative, what is their satisfaction? Apart from the consumption of the car, petrol, apart from that, what unique feature it attracted the customers? So that and all, customer satisfaction, that and all will come under the qualitative. Then a type of research. So whether we are going for the survey means we are going to consider the whole population. If the population is very small, we can go for the survey method. If the population is highly not possible to collect the data from everyone. So in this case, we can go for the sample size. We can go for the sample. We have to choose for the sample and we have to derive the solution. We have to conclude. Then whether you're going for the survey method or experimental basis, or whether you're going to do any case study. So that we have to decide. So once the research question has been decided, then we have to decide whether we are going for the quantitative or qualitative nature of research. And then once that has been decided, we have to decide whether we are going for the survey method or experiment or case study. Then for that, we have to find out the sample. So how much population you are going to take for your study. Then how we are going to collect the data. So I told that data collection, whether you are going to give questionnaire, whether you are going to absorb the data. So how the data collection can be different types. So previous days and all, what they have done. So if you look at the supermarket and all, that one of the person will just stand near that self. If that PNG company's product is there, in the case, one person will be stand there and he will observe how the customers are selecting the product, what type of product they are selecting, whether the that is quantity it's attracting them, or whether that the color or that quality, what nature it's attracting the customers, that and all they will observe. So after that, what happened? Just they have given the questionnaires. Then then after that, just we have developed it by giving the questionnaires. We have collected the data. Now everything has been changed after the corona. So now everything just we are collecting only the Google. Just we are collecting the data through the Google. So now according to the technology, we are also changing. Then your data collection procedure, that is where at what time you are going to collect. So what is our time period? Whether we are going to take 2 months or 10 months, how much you are going to spend the time to collect the data. Why? Because the data collection is very important. So whatever the data collection is our output, it's our conclusion. So whatever the amount as well as the time what we are spending in the data collection is very important. So once the data collection is perfect, so everything can be done perfectly in the next upcoming steps and all. So data collection is playing a very vital role. So we have to find out what is the time you are going to spend, when you are going to collect the data, within what time period we have to complete the data collection, that and all they have to decide. Then once the data has been collected, next they have to go for that. What type of test they are going to approach? There are so many statistical tools there. So what type of, according to the data, we have to use appropriate test. So that also we have to decide. So that was simply I've just presented in the table, defining the problem, and according to the problem, we have to find out the sample. Once the data, then once the sample has been determined, we have to go for the data collection, and then we have to analyze and we have to submit the report. Now we'll see that methodology presentation. So once the data has been collected, so what type of data you're going to collect, how we are going to collect, everything has been decided. So these are the steps to be followed. So what already we have explained, that what is given here. So first we are finding the what is the problem, and on that basis we are preparing the objective. Then on that basis we are giving the hypothesis and nature of study, whether we are going for the empirical or descriptive, exploratory, experimental. So whatever nature of study that we have to decide. And one more important also that I didn't explain in the previous slides and all, which area you are going to decide. Which area you are going to decide, and what type of population, that and all already we have discussed. What type of population you are going to choose, and sample size, and whether how you are going to get the data, whether you are going to get the data by giving questionnaire, or directly you are going to approach the customers and you are going to data personally. So that and all. Then source of data. So where you are going to collect the data, and method of data collection, and period of study. So how we are going to analyze the data. So these are the points which comes under the methodology presentation. So next. So whatever we have discussed, I just told overall, no, here one by one it's given clearly. So I told that research design, it's nothing but what is our research? So what is our research problem? So that what here, one of the example I've just given as a study on consumer preference for Wagon R brand of cars. So whether the customer have preferring that Wagon R car brand cars or not, whether the customer giving the preference for Wagon R car or not, that is my research. So for that, I'm just finding the statement, research problem. So this is my study and this is my topic. We can call it as this is my topic. And for that, I told that we have to frame the problem. We have to frame the objective. So here I've just given one of the objective is that the purpose of the study is to identify the brand preference and royalty for Maruti Wagon R cars. So simply I've just given as a topic as a customer preference for Wagon R car. Now I'm here under the topic, what is my main objective is that to identify the brand preference as well as loyalty. Why some of the people is going only for the Wagon R car, Maruti Wagon R car, what is the reason? Any specific reason is there that we are going to identify. So from the topic, I have framed my objective. So next is that I told that we can, from the objective, we can identify the hypothesis. Hypothesis, just see, here I've just, I framed two objectives. First objective is that to examine the preference for Wagon-R car brand among car buyers. So first, I'm identifying what is the preference. Why they are preferring the Wagon-R car? That is my one of the objective. Then what is my next objective? Is that what are the factors influencing the preference? Okay, now I'm just preferring for the Wagon-R car. Okay. Then what are the reasons? What are the factors influencing me to buy that car? That also I'm identifying. So from the topic, I have framed two objective here. Just see, from the two objective, I'm going to frame the hypothesis. Hypothesis. That means, so whatever the statement I'm going to give, it may be a true or it may be a false. So first I'm framing the hypothesis and then I am analyzing whatever the hypothesis I frame, it's a true or false. I'm just proving that. So I am just giving the hypothesis as null. Null hypothesis. That means in this case, there is no significant relationship between the gender and preference of Wagon-R car. Here null hypothesis means here I'm just taking there is no significant. So there is no relationship between the gender and preference of Wagon-R car. So there is no relation between the preference as well as the gender. I'm just giving one statement. Another statement hypothesis also I'm just giving that same. There is no relationship between the income and preference. So there is no relation between the income and the preference of the Wagon-R car. So this is the hypothesis I framed. I framed it's a null hypothesis. There is no relationship. That is null. If I am framing, okay, fine. So what I framed is it's a null hypothesis. So null hypothesis, I told that there is no relationship. That's what I'm just taking. And then, so what is the first step? I told that we have just, hello, whether I'm audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. So once again, I'll just recap. So what is our first step is that we have to frame the objective. First, we have to identify our research problem. From that, we are identifying the objective. From the objective, we are framing the hypothesis. This is the first step. And next step, I told that we have to which type of customers we are going to choose for the data. It's a population. Population, I told that we are going to collect the entire group. If the group is very small, if the consumers to whom you are going to collect the data, if that data is very small, in this case, you can go for the population. But for example, I told that the customers using electronic car, now only they have introduced, so the population is very less. In this case, you can go for the survey. That is, you can take for the entire population. But if you are going to take the details of the customers who are using the power, that is petrol consumption car and as well as diesel consumption car, its data is very vast. So in this case, it is not, that is, if you are going for the survey, that is highly not possible if you are going for the population. So in this case, no other way, we have to go for the sample design. So that too, what type of sample design you are going to choose? There are so many types of sampling is there. So that and all in the upcoming classes and all, they will explain very clearly. So how sample design and all, sampling and all. I'm not going for that depth. Sample, it's nothing but from the group of the population, we are going to collect some people. From that, we are going to conclude the data, conclude the problem. So if so when the consumers is very less, we can go for the population. We can go for the entire population, that is survey. If not possible, we have to go for the sample. So in this case, so how we are going to choose the sample? So for the sample, in order to calculate the sample itself, just see, we having separate set of formulas is there. So that and all we can apply. Then, so according to that, actually, for example, our population is 1 lakh. From that, if you are going to take only 100 samples, whether it will be fruitful. Sometimes there will be a chances for the deviations in that. Okay, whatever the output we have done, so there will be chances for the deviations is there. So whatever from the population, we have to collect the sample is to be justifiable. For that justifiable, there is a separate set of formulas to say that and all they will explain in the next upcoming sessions. So we have to apply, we have to find out how much, what is our appropriate sample size. Just see, sample size is determined using the formula. So some of the, I just gave one more here, one formula is there, another formula is there. So how we have to apply the formula, that also I've just given here. This and all, I'm not going for the depth. So in our study, we have to decide once the objective and hypothesis has been decided, we have to conclude whether we are going for the population, we are going to take the whole population, or we are going only for the sampling. And then I told that in the sample also there are so many types of sampling is there. Probabilistic sampling and non-probabilistic sampling. So probabilistic sampling is nothing but we are giving the chance for each and every from the customers. We are just giving the chance for every customers. So that is a probabilistic. Under that we are having simple, systematic, stratified. From the strata, we are going to take the data. So that and all I'm not going for the depth. Convenience, so non-probabilistic. Here, according to our convenience. So according from the, I'm just going to collect the 100. I'm just going to collect 100. I'm just going to collect 100 data. It's a convenience. Judgmental, okay. Quota sampling from the quota. From the STS, I'm just telling one example as that in a college and all admission, how they will give for the OC community, this much of students has to be admitted. And for the BC community, like that, just we are collecting the data on some quota basis. So next population has been decided. When the population has been decided, so now we have to go for whether we are going for the quantitative or qualitative. That I told that quantitative, it's nothing but just exactly we are finding in numbers. Qualitative, that is customer satisfaction, we are not able to find out in quantitative. So in this case, we are going for that qualitative method. So qualitative, it's nothing. Okay, now I just explain the quantitative and then I'll go for that. So quantitative nature is nothing but just in the lab, normally experimental. So where they will conduct the experimental, they will conduct the experimental in lab by using the various proportion of variables. And then they will identify. Then it may be a descriptive type of nature. Just we are finding the characteristics, averages, and we are measuring that. And correlation, how two variables are related, whether they are strongly related, that we are identifying. And exploratory research here, just we are identifying the problem in a very clear way, that is just we are finding what is the problem, and just we are giving the conclusion for that by just by collecting the data. It may be the data collection may be through the focus group or directly just we are going to the customers and you are collecting the data. So that type of research will be there. And it's a qualitative. I told that already. There is some of the things we are not able to measure. So, but that is in the numbers. So in this case, we are going for the qualitative. So in this case, we are just going for the how we are finding the qualitative nature of studies is that just we are going for the case study. But just we are analyzing one subject and we are concluding one data. On that basis, we are giving the conclusion. Then ethnography, it's nothing but just we are just studying about that specific community or group, and just we are giving one solution for that. It's the ethnography. Once the data has been collected, So once how we are going to study, whether you are going for the qualitative or quantitative, once that has been decided, we are going for the data collection. So data collection, I already told that it may be in primary or secondary. Primary means from the consumers you are collecting the data. I told that my study is about that consumer preference towards that what type of consumption of car they are using. That is whether it's a petrol or diesel or a electronic car. So in this case, I'm not going for that car showroom. I'm not collecting the data. If I'm just going to the showroom and I'm collecting the data means already data is available. From that, I'm just collecting the data means it's a secondary data. But now I'm not interested whatever it's given from the showroom. I'm just directly I want to get the data from the person who consuming that car. So in this case, I'm going to collect the data. So in this case, what I will do, I will collect the data from the car showrooms, the person who purchased the electronic car. I'll just make a call over the phone or over the email. I'll send the data and I'll collect the detail and I will conclude the solution. I'll just conclude the problem. So in this case, I'm just going for the primary data. So what type of data collection you're going to do, that we have to decide. So secondary data always is not reliable. We are not able to, let's suppose that. So it is also reliable. But even though what type of data we are going to choose, whether we are going for the primary or secondary, that we have to decide. And so whatever, if I'm just planned for the primary data. So in this case, I told that I've just collected the data from the showroom, the person who purchased the electronic car, and then from I'll just get the phone number or email from the showroom, and I will approach the customers through the mail. How I can collect the data, whether through the over the telephonic conversation, I'll collect the data, or through the Google form, or I'll just send the questionnaire in the printed form. Like that, I'll collect the data. So once the data has been collected, simply we are not able to start with the analysis part. So we have to validate the data. So once the data has been collected, we have to validate. Whatever the data has been collected is correct. It's a reliable. So in order to check the reliability, so Chrome Bank Alpha is one of the method we can use, and in order to check the reliability. So in the check, so once the data has been validated, if it measures, so the output of the Chrome Bank Alpha result, if it shows less than 0.65 to 0.8, acceptable limit, okay. But if it is below that, it's not acceptable. If it is less than 0.65 to 8, it is in the acceptable limit. If it is more than 8, highly acceptable. Whatever the data collected is perfect. But if it is the answer what we have just derived through Chrome Bank Alpha is less than 0.5, in this case, whatever the data collected is useful. It's a useless. Some data we have to, once again, we have to check the questionnaire. So sometimes the questionnaire controversy will be there. So that and all we have to identify. Once again, we have to collect the data and we have to go for the reliability testing. So if the data collection, that is Chrome Bank Alpha result shows that 0.8 and more than that, it's highly acceptable. Even 0.865 to 8 is also acceptable, but less than. So greater than 0.65 to 0.8 is acceptable, but less than the 0.65 is highly not acceptable. So no other way, we have to find out what is the problem in the questionnaire, and we have to go for that further changes in it. Okay, here I've just listed some of the tools what we can use in order to analyze our data. So I just in the right side, I've just given one table column that what type of uh, descriptive analysis you can use. So if you are going to find out the measure of central tendency, you can use for mean median mode. And dispersion means measures of dispersion means in this case you can analyze range, standard deviation, everything. So apart from that, what are the tools can be used? So that's what I have listed: percentage analysis, whether you are going for the weighted mean, ranking, ANOVA, chi-square, factor analysis. So what type of analysis you are going to use? So this also, all this has to be how you are going to how you are going to analyze that. So that also they will explain in the upcoming sessions. And so analysis. So once the data has been analyzed. So that what I told, no, it's a qualitative nature. Qualitative nature means I told that customer satisfaction I am not able to find out in how many percentage. In that case, how I can able to measure whether satisfaction is very poor, it's okay, average, good satisfaction. There's customer satisfaction is excellent. Just they have given a very good satisfaction. So like this, we can identify. This type is known as the qualitative nature. And once the data has been analyzed, so how we can report, so how we have to present the report. So research design is nothing but it's a master plan. What we can do, how we can do, how we can present the data. So that is known as research design. So now you see, this is our, so like this, once everything, so data has been collected, data has been analyzed. So you have to show then how our research has to be arranged. So first it should be a title page. Second, it should be abstract. And so just we are giving acknowledgement to the person who helped at the time of research, and the table of content. So whatever the introduction, how many pages that and all, we have to just give the table of content. And introduction is the first chapter. And next we have to put the review of literature and research methodology, what type of methodology, what type of data you're going to collect, whether you're just going to collect, whether you have collected the data through the questionnaire, how, and what sample you have used, that and all you have to give under the sample size, area you have chosen, everything you have to give in the research methodology. And next one is the data analysis. So once the data has been analyzed, once the data has been collected, how we are going to analyze it, and we have to give the interpretation. From the interpretation, whatever the findings we have, that and all we have to list, and finally we have to conclude the research. Concludes, and we have to give our recommendation. So like this only, we have to collect the data. So I've just here given some of the examples of that is what type of research we can go for that. That is just given as a product research. It's a place, it's a pricing. So yeah, now I just told that what is their uh, what chosen them to going for the preference of the electronic car, or so it may be a price, what whether the price influencing that also we can able to identify. So some of type of research are listed here. And in another, just and actually another 15 minutes, I just want to give, I want to give the demo how you can prepare the questionnaire in the Google form and how you can circulate to your friends. So for that, if possible, everyone just please sign into your Google ID so that I'll explain you, so that if you try, you can able to do. So I'll give you 2 minutes time. Please
Hello everyone. This is from Pencil Bit. Actually, Subhashima has got some issues in technical issues. She don't have power in our area, so she could not able to continue the class. So this class will be continued by tomorrow with the tomorrow resource person. And can all leave the class. Thank you so much. Feedback link will be sent on the last day.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.